Hello, folks. I just wanted to throw this out there. Now, I know in the other video or a while back or this week, I put out a little video on the Blue&Black podcast, and I explained a few things, and I want to go my thinking going forward and about rinse and repeat coaching, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to tell you here exactly what I think Dan will do compared to what I would do if I'm Dan at the end of the year. Now, I'm going to assume and because we don't know the future, we do not know. Bryce may turn everything around. Dave Canales and Bryce and prove that they can throw it deep and they can be as good of another quarterback. Now, I don't see that. I still don't see that's going to happen, but it could. So we don't know the future. And if I'm taking that it's the end of the year, the season's over, we haven't made the playoffs, and what we've seen the past 10 games is exactly what we're going to see the rest of the year. Now, and I'm Dan Morgan. Reality, as much as if it was me, I would part ways with Dave Canales because his offense is very inconsistent. His play calling is inconsistent. His training staff, his entire coaching career as a head coach is inconsistent. There's never been nothing consistent about Dave Canales. Now, is Dave Canales very well liked in the locker room? Yes. And that's going to be the hard part. Dave Canales has not lost the locker room yet, but if we keep having games like we had against the Saints, you might, and it's a delicate situation. You don't want your head coach to lose the locker room, but you don't want a lot of infighting in your staff or your player-wise. Anyway, you just don't want all that. Now, so what I would do, I would part ways with Dave Canales and tell everyone I'll take anything you want for Bryce Young, and if I don't have anything by the 1st of May, then I'm either going to just I'm not picking up this 50-year option period. I can't guarantee you. I don't want to say I'd outright cut him, but I don't think you're going to see Bryce Young on the 53-man roster next year, because I don't value him as a great backup either. When I have a backup, I want a guy who was really good and smart, but he's got to be able to hand off the ball or throw it when he needs it. That's the type of backup I need. Now, that being said, you're not going to get a perfect backup unless you got a guy who should start somewhere else. So, all that being said, that's just what I would do, okay? But you never know when you're going to find somebody who's going to say, well, still, I was going to say, listen, I can turn Bryce around. I'm a great coordinator. I'm a great offensive staff. We'll take him. Or even a hypothetical situation, you're trying to work a trade out for Mac Jones, who signed a 2-year deal this past offseason with the 49ers and looks pretty good. You're in that scenario. You want to trade. You never know when they'll take Bryce as part of that trade. Well, normally you're going to have to give up a third or a second because, yeah, Mac Jones' value may be a 5th or a 6th, but the 49ers have no interest to get rid of him. So you're going to have to entice them to want him, to want to trade him. You're going to have to sweeten that pot enough that they'll take it. So, and if part of that sweetening pot is throwing in Bryce, I'm all for that. I'm not saying that's what they should do, just in a hypothetical situation. Now, what I think's going to happen, and it's strictly my opinion, my projection, so to speak, and folks, I've been a Panther fan for 30 plus years, for as long as this team existed. Y'all, I've been wrong more than I've been right. I'm the guy that's going to tell you that. I'm going to man up and own up. I've been wrong a lot more than I've been right. So what I think is going to happen is I think Dan's going to evaluate everything. And I don't think the scenario with Bryce changes. from what I would do. I think you're still going to have a situation. Now, they're not going to come out and say, Bryce sucks, Bryce is not our future. You're going to go the company line as well. We just want to bring in competition at all positions and make everything equal footage going forward. And that's what you're going to get, the company line. Now, the reality is, I think they'll shop Bryce Young. See what his value to around the league. We'll probably pay his contract to get rid of him, or at least most of it, depending on what we get. And but I don't think Dan Morgan's going to outright cut Bryce Young yet. I think it'll be if Bryce Young gets cut. And you remember, Bryce Young's not a locker room problem. If Bryce Young gets cut, it's going to be right after preseason, before regular season next year. That's my opinion. You've kind of exhausted all realm of trading avenues. He may still be on the roster at that point. Dan Morgan. But I think as far as Dave Canales, I think Dan Morgan's going to talk, and he's going to say, we've got to have changes. I need somebody on this roster that can call plays. We like Brad Idzik, but he's not an offensive coordinator. Let's stop pretending he is. I'm going to throw a name out. It may not be the guy everybody wants. I don't know that I want him, actually, but he's just a name that's in my head, and I'm going to use this as an example of a type of guy. Mike Shula. Mike Shula was fired by the South Carolina Gamecocks, but he also was the offensive coordinator when Cam was here and we went to the Super Bowl. So, he was also the offensive coordinator for a while for the Bills. So he has play calling experience. Maybe not the best developer in the world, but you still have Canales. Now, he's a guy that's probably better at Brad Idzik's job than Brad Idzik is currently. So how do you do this? To me, you can move Brad Idzik over to the passing game coordinator or a running game assistant to something, or a passing assistant something or another or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Don't really matter. But my question is, if it's presented that way, would Dave Canales take that? I don't know that he would. Now, my man Jake the Snake says that he believes Canales will fire Brad Idzik to save his job. He believes that ineffectively. I'm not ready. I don't know that I believe that right now. Maybe I will sometime in the future. You know what? I'm not. Jake might be right. He really might be. He tends to be right a lot more than people think. So, myself personally, I would bring that. I bring somebody, and it doesn't have to be Mike Shula. Just somebody in that realm. Now, I understand somebody's going to say, well, now why not bring in my pickle brain was just in. The Giants ex-head coach that was fired this week. A better offensive coordinator than he ever is head coach. And to be honest with you, I would love to have him here. He really would. If he's my pick as an offensive coordinator if Canales is no longer here. But he ain't coming here as sharing play calling. And he ain't coming here and running a Dave Canales offense. If he comes here, it's going to be his offense, his way, and not Dave Canales' way. I don't know that Dave Canales is ready to surrender all that. Now, y'all tell me what you think. Hit me up on Twitter. My man Diesel Skills will probably put this on YouTube. So hit me up some way. Me, Deez, he can get Colby, the Cole Show, Colby Griffin. You can hit up Jake and Jake Snake. Just tell somebody about it, Fact is, you can, if you really want to, you can hit up D Money. Let him know. He'll tell us what some of the comments are if he needs to be. Okay? Just let us know your opinion. Because here at the Blue&Black Attack Podcast, we care about your opinions. We may not agree with it, but we care about it. And we're not going to tell you you're wrong. We're not going to disrespect you and tell you that you're ignorant for having an opinion that's different from ours. We're not that podcast. Okay, not saying that there's some out there that will do that. We don't plan to be that kind of podcast. That's what I should say, probably. Okay, because we value everybody's opinion. Okay, we're not going to argue with you about your opinion. We're going to voice our opinion. You voice your opinion. We're going to shake hands, give each other hugs, maybe have a beer together, and say, "Keep pounding." Y'all keep pounding. You know, what does the future hold? We don't know. And hey, if Bryce turns and Canales turns it all around and either make the playoffs or barely miss the wild card, we all can look back at this video and say, "You funny, you funny, Panther Pickle, but you was wrong." And I'll say, "You right, I was." Keep pounding.
Our leaves and rot, but we hold tight.